This is KPWE with This Week in BC Minor League Sports here on CJSF 90.1 FM. You can also find us online at www.cjsf.ca, and we're broadcasting from Simon Fraser University in Burnaby, British Columbia. Now, during this program today, we'll recap some baseball action from the Northwest League, which is down to its final 2 weeks in regular season action. If you're looking, for NFL or Major League Baseball opinions, well, I actually have plenty of those, but unfortunately, this is not the show for that. Excuse me. Instead, this is a program about amateur and minor league sports, such as midget hockey or amateur baseball. So I'm going to have to save my opinions about pro sports at the pub with my buddies instead. So no NHL talk, no Major League Baseball, no NFL, no NBA on this program. Instead, what we have here is we will be focusing on Northwest League baseball action here on this CJSF program today. Now, so let's get the show started because lots of action taking place in baseball because they do play mostly every day. Now, taking a look at the Northwest League, now all of the teams in the league are affiliated with a Major League Baseball club. Now, with the Vancouver Canadians, or the local team, the single A affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. And the players in the Northwest League are normally guys that were just drafted, or they could be undrafted free agents, and their major league team sends them to the single A Northwest League, to get their seasoning, to get playing time, so that they can develop their skills and improve as ball players. So last year's rosters for each of the teams will not be the same, and there's also a lot of turnover as players get called up to AA or AAA mid-season as they advance through the minor leagues and eventually get into the big leagues. They also do get players actually do get sent down to rookie ball if they don't perform. So players will change from 1 year to the next, and also during the season as well. Now, the players that you see in the league are generally between 18 to 24 years of age, and they're basically just starting out their professional careers in baseball. Most of them are American, and a lot of them are far from home for the first time after just finishing college baseball. In Vancouver, these players live with host families, and it's probably a big adjustment for them because again, a lot of these players come from small towns in the United States. In Vancouver, definitely is a lot different from what they're used to, so definitely special for a lot of these players to play in this league, especially in places like Vancouver, and even I guess in Hillsborough as well, because I guess that's like one of the largest cities in Oregon. So definitely a huge adjustment for a lot of these players that just get sent to the Northwest League. Now let's take a look at the pennant race in the league. We're going into Tuesday night's action. All four teams in the North Division were tied for first place with just under 3 weeks remaining in the season. That's actually simply amazing because with 20 games remaining in the season, in the regular season that is, Vancouver, Everett, Tri-City, and Spokane had identical 8 and 10 records in the second half of the campaign. So that's 8 wins and 10 losses in the second half for all four teams in this division. Now, Spokane is already in the playoffs because the Indians won the first half. So, Spokane, they don't really need to do much, in the last 2 weeks of the season other than get ready for the postseason. So, if Spokane somehow finishes in first place again in the second half, then the team with the next best overall record in the division throughout the course of the season gets in. And in this case, that would be Vancouver because both Tri-City and Everett had terrible first halves in 2014. But again, 2 weeks left. A lot of things could happen. Things could change. So we'll see what happens. In the South Division, going into Tuesday's action, Salem Kaiser, the Volcanoes, they set atop the division with a 12-6 record. That's one game better than the next best team, the Hillsborough Hops. Now, the Boise Hawks, who have reached the Northwest League Finals in each of the last 2 seasons, sat in last place as of Tuesday's standings with a record of 8 and 10, 8 wins and 10 losses, and they were 4 games out of first place at that time. And going back to the North Division, though, the Everett Aquasox would be kind of an interesting team to watch, simply because Everett is the minor league affiliate of the Seattle Mariners, and current Mariners catcher Mike Zunino played a few games for the Everett Aquasox a couple of years back. So, a few of the Seattle prospects might start out in Everett before moving up the ladder in the Mariners system. And in fact, Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, played for the Colorado Rockies affiliate. I guess that would be Salem Kaiser a couple of years back. So you never know who you're going to see in the Northwest League. Even a guy like Russell Wilson, who is a successful Super Bowl winning quarterback for the NFL Seattle Seahawks, has played in this league before when he was trying out baseball before committing to football. Now, the Aquasox this year, getting back to Everett, the Aquasox this year have been kind of snake bitten. They have a losing record, but they easily could have won a few of those games, and they could be having a huge lead in the second half standings right now. But some things just didn't work out for them during the course of the season. For example, taking a look at the recent road trip in Eugene on July 31st, for instance, Everett scored 6 runs in the 9th inning against the Eugene Emeralds, only to fall short by a 10-9 score. So things like that. And then 2 nights after that, they led Eugene 5-3, only to lose 7-6 in the final couple of innings, and they lost by that same 7-6 score the very next day to the Emeralds, blowing a 4-1 lead. So, the Everett Aquasox have been scoring runs, but their pitching hasn't really done the job for the most part. And then finally, they got some pitching in the first game back from a road trip on August 10th against the Spokane Indians, and 4 Everett pitchers combined to toss 10 shutout innings. But the Aquasox offense just couldn't even get a hit that day. So they ended up losing 3-0 in 11 innings as they got 0 hits on the afternoon against Spokane pitching. Had they gotten a timely hit here and there, maybe the pitching got a big out here or there, maybe the Everett Aquasox might have a winning record right now, and also enjoy a big lead atop the North Division standings. But if you can't do that, then you're bunched up in the standings with the other clubs. But again, if you are a Northwest League baseball fan, definitely the Everett Aquasox would be a team to watch, just simply because if you like the Seattle Mariners, some of these players that from Everett could eventually wind up to Seattle, and definitely, like I've been talking about in previous shows, you can listen to all of the games for free from this from the Northwest League by going to each of the teams' websites. So definitely something to check out if you are into baseball here in the West Coast. Now, as for the Tri-City Dust Devils, another one of the contenders in that North Division, they played the Vancouver Canadians for 6 straight games from August the 7th to August the 12th, with 3 of those contests here in Vancouver. And I was actually in the press box at Nat Bailey Stadium on the game on Sunday the 10th to get an interview with Chris King, the Tri-City play-by-play broadcaster. And that was actually a great game on that day. Tri-City, well, I should say, going in to that series, Tri-City lost 2 of 3 at home to the Canadians, including 11-1 on Saturday night, and then they were delayed getting into Vancouver on Sunday afternoon. But that afternoon, with the score 2-2 in the 6th inning, the Dust Devils scored 3 runs against Canadians pitcher Matt Smurl, who was making his Vancouver debut, to go ahead 5-2. And Vancouver actually rallied in the 8th inning to go ahead 7-6, and they were just 3 outs away from a victory. But the Tri-City Dust Devils simply did not quit. Tri-City loaded the bases in the top of the 9th inning with nobody out, and then Josh Fuentes hit a single to left field. The Canadians left fielder bobbled the ball and let it get past him. That allowed all 3 runners to score, and the Dust Devils added 2 more in that inning, and they won that game by a final score of 11-7. So just an amazing comeback for Tri-City. And actually, I spoke with Chris King, the Tri-City play-by-play broadcaster, following the game. We're with Chris King, the play-by-play broadcaster of the Tri-City Dust Devils. Congratulations on an 11-7 victory over the Vancouver Canadians. Thoughts about this game tonight?
Boy, you know, it was a pretty exciting game for both teams and a great day here in Vancouver. I know everyone from the Dust Devils always enjoy to come up and play here at Nat Bailey Stadium. And yeah, a very exciting game for the Dust Devils. The team 1-30 when games where they trailed after 8 innings. So the comeback, not something the team has really seen before. And when you factor in today with the no-hitter that Spokane had, now the Dust Devils tied for first. And really that's not a place the team has been since you go back to the 2011 season when they lost to Vancouver, which started that run of 3 straight championships for the Canadians. So, you know, for the Dust Devils, who knows where it goes from here, but a pretty exciting one today for Tri-City.
Thanks, Chris. You also mentioned just the fact that the team has struggled the last couple of seasons, including the first half this year. So what can the guys do, in order to stay competitive and perhaps win the second half pennant this year?
You know, I think there's probably going to be a lot of things that have to factor into that. One of the things that we saw on display today is the turnaround of Shane Holscher. He had his first professional home run today, has now hit safely in 12 of his last 13 games. He's a guy who had a 115 batting average in the month of June, and now he's hitting over 300. You need to have more guys like that. A guy like Drew Weeks had the best batting average in college baseball this year at the University of North Florida. If he can start to turn things on, a guy like Helmus Rodriguez, the starting pitcher, he's been outstanding for the entire year. Maybe the run support hasn't been there, but if the starting pitching can get a little more solid, the back end of the bullpen has been a bit shaky. We saw that on display as the lead disappeared in the 7th and the 8th innings. But if all those things can kind of come together, and momentum is kind of one of those funny things to put your finger on, but certainly a win like this doesn't hurt. So maybe giving this team a little confidence moving forward is not a bad thing for the Dust Devils.
All right, and finally, Chris, one last thing. Can you tell us a bit about your broadcasting career, what got you involved in broadcasting, and just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so this is my 3rd year working with the Dust Devils. It's my 6th year working with the baseball team where I travel around with the team. I worked for a team, the Wenatchee Apple Sox is in the West Coast League, a summer collegiate team before this, and I'm from Marysville, so not too far from here in the Northwest, and always wanted to get into broadcasting. Broadcasted in high school in Marysville. I went to Washington State University. They have the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication there. Went through that program, announced high school games in Spokane all throughout college, and then just been working my way up since. I'm fortunate in the winter I get to announce men's basketball at the University of Idaho. I just finished up my first year doing that, and before that I announced 2 years at Boise State doing women's basketball. So it's a lot of fun. It can be a lot of hectic during the seasons, especially right now, but great days like this and exciting games definitely help fuel you through it. It's a fun job.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. And once again, congratulations on the victory by the Dust Devils today. And hopefully, you guys will, be competitive the rest of the season.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, KP.
Thank you. Well, just a funny story there. I kind of said at the end there at the end of that interview, hopefully the Dust Devils will be competitive the rest of the season, because we were standing right outside the press box at Nat Bailey Stadium in Vancouver, and I guess the Vancouver Canadians broadcast director was standing maybe a few feet away from us. I didn't want to kind of rub it in too much because Vancouver had lost, so I didn't want to say something like, hopefully you guys Tri-City will win the pennant in the second half. I just didn't want to say that because it might be kind of disrespectful, so that's why I kind of stumbled and said, hopefully you guys will be competitive, and so I was kind of being neutral, not being biased towards one team or against another team, so that's what I was doing there, but definitely much appreciated in terms of play-by-play broadcaster Chris King of the Tri-City Dust Devils spending a few minutes with me after the game, because they had to he travels with the players, like the team. They have to take the bus afterwards and go back to the hotel. So definitely appreciate him spending a few minutes with me to talk about the game and also talk about some of the Tri-City players as well. And they actually got in, like I said, they got in late. They got in late into Vancouver on Sunday afternoon, so definitely very nice of him to stop by and chat with me before leaving the press box. And also I mentioned earlier the Canadians pitcher Matt Smurl making his debut for Vancouver. Smurl is a 6'8" hard-throwing left-handed pitcher that was selected by the Toronto Blue Jays, the parent club of the Vancouver Canadians, in the first round of the 2012 Major League Baseball draft. So definitely, or I guess apparently, a big prospect, but he actually got lit up. So not the best debut for him. But it's always fun to talk to broadcasters. You heard what Chris King said about how he got started in doing baseball play-by-play. Definitely interesting to find out how people get into the industry and how they finally make it. I actually got a chance to talk to Mike Safford, who does play-by-play for the Boise Hawks in the South Division a while back, and thought I would just play a short clip of the interview just to share what he says about his career. We're with Mike Safford, broadcaster of the Boise Hawks. So good of you to join us today, Mike. Just first of all, tell us a little bit about your broadcasting career, how you got started in it.
KP, appreciate you having me on. And I've been doing this it's getting close to 20 years now. Started when I was a senior in high school, working as a stats guy for a high school basketball broadcast. By the next year, was in college and started calling high school football and basketball games on the radio, and then started working my way up the ladder in the college rank, and did my first actual on-air, on-radio play-by-play broadcast when I was 19 years old. Graduated with a degree in print and broadcast journalism, and got into the sports information field, just basically being a PR guy for college, and continued to broadcast along with that job. And in 2001, when I moved to Idaho, working at College of Idaho there as their PR director, I saw that the job with the Boise Hawks opened. I sent a demo tape, and I'd known their general manager at the time for a while, and he and I sat down, got the job, and been doing it ever since, and really appreciate the memories and the relationships that I've had with the players and the fans and the staff and the coaches over the years. It's been a lifelong experience.
Awesome. So that was the Boise Hawks play-by-play broadcaster Mike Safford, and and talking about how he got started in broadcasting, and also actually got a chance to talk to Salem Kaiser Volcanoes broadcaster Rob Schreier last season when he was in his first year of broadcasting with the Salem Kaiser Club. Again, it's great to hear success stories such as these. So I'm going to play this short interview that we did, and just to find out how he got his start in the industry and also in the Northwest League. We're with Rob Schreier, broadcaster of the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes. So, Rob, just want to ask you a few questions, if I may. So, what got you involved in broadcasting?
Well, I mean, I've always loved sports, and I think what's the perfect job about being paid to talk or to be a part of sports, and that's for me, being a broadcaster, the closest thing to playing sports. I was never good enough to make it, obviously, to any kind of college or professional, obviously, level. So this is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm just getting to start here in Salem Kaiser.
Now, Salem Kaiser has had a pretty good baseball team the last few years. 3 championships within the last 6-7 years. So what's it like, being here in your first season with the Volcanoes?
You definitely know you're stepping into greatness. I mean, it's you're expected to have a high level of professionalism. There is a winning attitude here. I mean, top treble horn manager Steve Decker. We've had great managers, have had great players. So to kind of help bring that and continue the tradition, at least from expanding what is Volcanoes Nation, I guess, to everyone around around the country, especially the players, their families as well. That's a big part of the job, and to keep that tradition alive.
Awesome. What's been the highlight so far for you this season?
The highlight is just being able to come to the ballpark every day and say, "This is what I do." I'm traveling the Northwest League. This is my first time in the Northwest. Really enjoy the weather, meeting the players, working every day with Tom Treblehorn. I do a manager's show with him. That has been one of the most underrated elements of this job, and just soaking in all that he has to say and all he has to offer has been great.
All right, and what would you say would be the best part about this ballpark here at Volcano Stadium?
I mean, the ballpark, it's everyone can see. I mean, there you can go, you can go down to the bullpen, you can go everywhere. It's kind of laid out. It's not compact. It's very open. You can see the action for anywhere in the stadium. It's a newer ballpark too, and I mean, right here, my broadcast position, I look right over the plate, so it's a great vantage point for me too.
Thanks, Rob, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, that was Rob Schreier, the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes play-by-play broadcaster, and this interview was conducted last season when I was down in Salem Kaiser, Oregon, to talk to him about his getting his start in broadcasting. And just hearing that interview makes me chuckle a little bit because he mentioned nation, and you know how certain teams' fan base, they refer to themselves as blah 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 nation, like Raider Nation or Canucks Nation or whatever nation it is. I think that word is just overused, but yeah. So I mean, Rob Schreier did use that word nation, so I kind of get a chuckle out of it when I hear people use that word. Yeah, but definitely he's talking about like a loyal fan base in Kaiser, Oregon that support the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes. So good for them, to support that team. Now, in terms of this weekend's action, the Vancouver Canadians are playing a huge series beginning tonight against the Tri-City, against the Everett Aquasox. So they're playing the start of a big 3-game series in Everett, beginning tonight at 7:05 p.m. Again, both those two teams are battling for the second half pennant to get a chance to play in the playoffs. So I mean, I know we're in BC and we're in Burnaby, Vancouver, but I don't know if Vancouver is really a home team, but because Everett, they are the minor league affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. Maybe they might be a team that you might root for, but in any event, you can catch that game and the entire series, Vancouver against Everett, on either one of their two official websites. You can either go to the CanadiansBaseball.com website, or you can also go to the Everett Aquasox website as well to listen to the broadcast of the game and also for the entire series. Now, for more information about the Northwest League, you can go to northwestleague.com. That's northwestleague.com to get the latest standings and the complete schedule, and also listen to all of the games that are being played. And for the Vancouver Canadians, obviously you can also check out CanadiansBaseball.com for news and information about Vancouver. And yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the Northwest League for this program, and that's it for the Northwest League. And again, this is KP Wee with This Week in BC Minor League Sports on CJSF 90.1 FM. Time for a couple of quick public service announcements. First of all, if you're looking for career advice from experts in an industry that you might be interested in, there is a cool website to check out called 10,000coffees.com, and they have experts from many industries in Canada who have signed up to provide this service to young Canadians who have questions about a career that they're interested in. There are a few of these industry experts from British Columbia, and most of them are from Ontario. You can actually arrange to have coffee with them in person, or do a Skype meeting, or even email, or even do phone conversations with them. You just have to fill out a 2 to 3 question survey and pick out the industry experts that you want to talk to, and of course they can choose to accept or decline. I spoke with an expert from Toronto over the phone. I guess it's been several months back now, and I also talked to a couple of guys from Vancouver. It's definitely wonderful to pick their brains on some questions I have about certain industries. I mean, it's definitely something to look into if you're looking for career advice. And this service is completely free, so why not take advantage of it if you're unsure about how to get into a certain industry, and you can definitely pick an expert's brain on it. And the lady from Toronto that I spoke with was very nice. She gave me some pointers on how to use YouTube to help with marketing myself, and some other advice as well. One of the guys from Vancouver, he actually gave me some hints about how to properly use LinkedIn, which I actually haven't gotten around to yet. He also told me he's talked to quite a few young Canadians, so far. Through 10,000coffees.com, and again, people who are looking to get some information about an industry that they like to get into. Again, definitely there are experts out there waiting or wanting to help out young people with their career path. It's completely free, and again, the website is called 10,000coffees.com. Next, Vancouver-based singer-songwriter Katie Rocks is doing a live performance on Wednesday, August 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Café de Soleil. That is at 2096 Commercial Drive in Vancouver. Obviously, if you like to support local musicians, be sure to check out Katie Rocks. Once again, she's performing on Wednesday, August 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Café de Soleil. I actually had a chance to interview her for one of the spoken word programs at CJSF a couple of years back. A nice lady to talk to, very generous, and she actually tweets a lot apparently, and she updates her Facebook page quite often. You can definitely check out her website, which is katierocksmusic.com, for more information about her performance on the 27th. Again, that's katierocksmusic.com. That's ROX. So Katie ROXmusic.com, and you can also find her latest album, Paper Airplanes, on her website. Time now for the performer of the week, and the nod goes to Tri-City Dust Devils pitcher Helmus Rodriguez. On Sunday, he held the Vancouver Canadians to 2 runs over 6 innings of work, stopping a Vancouver team that scored 11 runs the night before to lead his team to a victory. Now, Helmus Rodriguez didn't get the win, but that's been the story for him all season, because he has only 3 victories and 6 losses this year, despite a sparkling 2.21 ERA in 12 starts. So basically, on average, he gives up 2 runs every 9 innings that he pitches for the Tri-City Dust Devils. And definitely, he continued to pitch well this week, and for that, he is the performer of the week. Now, you've been listening to This Week in BC Minor League Sports with KP Wee on CJSF 90.1 FM. That's actually all the time that we have for this week's show, and we will talk to you again next time.
Brooked Events, the EDM Show, and CAC present SFU Summer Get Together, Endless, at the famous Celebrities Nightclub. With DJ Timeline, Marino, Matilda Ho, and SFU's very own FICA. Tickets available at the Simon Fraser Student Society General Office. CJSF presents Endless, SFU's Summer Get-Together, August 23rd at Celebrities Nightclub. Come out and party away the end of summer. For more information, head to tinyurl.com/SFUendless.